What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and today I've got a really interesting and cool video for you guys. So usually I do gaming videos and sometimes top 10 videos and kind of different kinds, but today I had a really cool idea. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be reacting to the best and the most shameless movie rip-offs in the world. So this could be any movie, and basically these movies have really similar names. The whole concept is similar. Sometimes it's just literally a cookie cutter word for word rip-off of the whole story, and the name is basically the same thing. So today we're going to be looking into a few of these movies, and some of them are really comical, guys. Some of them are so much like their counterparts that it's just so unbelievable that they actually exist. It's also quite surprising that the people who made them didn't get sued, but the most likely reason for this, a lot of these movies are actually just Chinese rip-offs or rip-offs that go straight to DVD, and most of the companies probably don't even know they exist. So without further ado, let's jump into these. So as you can see, we're currently looking at a website source. I'm using the website Screen Rant right now, just so you guys know where you can actually find this. And these are actually pretty crazy how much of a rip-off these are. I mean, first of all, this is a funny one for a start. A lot of you guys have probably seen the Dreamworks film called Fu Panda. Huge film, literally everyone knows what it is. But then we literally have a rip-off here called The Little Panda Fighter. First you might look at it, it may look quite innocent. There's nothing really too bad with it. But then we see that, I mean, the panda's doing some sort of martial arts, like Chinese martial arts here, which is kind of the narrative of this movie. And then also we see a lot of Chinese buildings and things in the background here. I mean, it's kind of a generalized idea, the Kung Fu Panda. And I guess the panda is a Chinese creature. I'm pretty sure they reside in China. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be an idiot. It's not too surprising, but is it a copy? Kind of makes me think so. The next one though, guys, is literally the biggest copy I've ever seen. Literally the idea for this video was because I saw all these copies with a few of my friends a few years ago. It's absolutely crazy how much of a rip-off the next one is. We have a movie called Trance Morphers. Literally, you've got it right, Trance Morphers. It sounds like Transformers. Most of you guys have probably seen Michael Bay's Transformers, so you know exactly what this is ripping off. But it's Trance Morphers. I mean, you just look at it and you've got to cringe. I mean, they're not even trying to hide it at this point. You'll see a few more of them like this further down, which is just going to make you laugh. This is Trance Morphers, so what I'm actually really interested is if we copy this and we go onto Google. I'm really interested to see when this movie came out. Right, so Trance Morphers came out in 2007. Damn, so that actually came out in 2007. Right, and that's the 26th of June. So it had a $300,000 budget. That's pretty huge as a budget to say it's a small time film, and it probably went straight to DVD, especially since I've never even heard of this. So then what we're going to do, right, we're going to have a look at Transformers now and see when that came out. So 300 grand and 26th of June. We're going to type in Transformers 1 because that's what we're interested. Right, 27th of July 2007. I don't know how that works out because apparently the rip-off film came out before the real film, but the real film clearly must have had a much larger budget than the rip-off. I mean, this is a Hollywood film. The rip-off is probably like some guy filming it in his mum's basement. Right, so let's have a look. The budget is 150 million, so we've gone from 300k to 150 million. Big difference, guys. And I'd like to actually watch some of these films. Maybe I might make that into a video where I actually watch some of the films, but big difference here, and I'm guessing Transformers is clearly a better film. But I just thought that was just so funny, and I want to compare a few of these, like the budgets and the release dates, just to double check and have a comparison between the release dates and the two, because it's really interesting to me. Right, so that's Transformers, and it says the year was 2007, and no one knew Transformers was going to be the massive box office hit that it was. Bear in mind, you've got to actually understand, guys, that Transformers has always been a cartoon. There's always been toys of it. It is a big brand already, so even if the film got released later than the rip-off could easily just be based on the figurines and the cartoons from before. And it says no one apparently except Mockbuster Studio, the Asylum, as they released Trance Morphers on DVD a week before Michael Bay's film hit theatres. So I mean, Michael Bay's film, there would have been trailers for it a few months ago or maybe a year ago, and these guys could have easily copied it or got ideas. And then, like we said, another thing is there is comics and toys, and they probably got the idea from. And it's an eye-squintingly brilliant title, as anyone not paying full attention would assume that the film is Transformers and would thus rent it or buy it, assuming that a mistake was made in releasing it so early. However, when that person pushed play on the movie, they would be treated to a strange post-apocalyptic film that takes 400 years into the future after giant robot set force humanity underground. Right, so we kind of have a different narrative, but also in Transformers they do try and take over humanity and I guess push the will on Earth, so it's kind of a similar concept, but humanity is living underground, which it's not a bad concept, sounds kind of cool to be honest. And it says, not exactly the plot of Transformers, but at least the producers were thoughtful enough to distract you from the plot's terrible qualities by releasing the DVD with out-of-sync audio and mysteriously misplaced special effects and sound effects. So I was actually considering watching this, maybe it'd be funny, and then I get to the point where apparently the audio is entirely out of sync. Also, there's really bad special effects in it, so I don't know. I'm not really sure if I want to watch it now. The next one is also going to make you laugh. This is, as the title of this video suggests, this is the most shameless ripoff I've seen. So, as a big fan of Alien vs Predator, and basically the Alien and Predator films, I know this so well. Like, I know what the movie's about, I know the concept. And basically Alien vs Predator, the concept of it for guys who may be watching this and have no clue, is there's a species called the aliens, and I believe they're called xenomorphs, so that's the type of aliens. Not too sure about the alien lore and things like that, because I haven't watched as many of the Alien films as I have done with the Predator films. But basically there's a species called the aliens, or the xenomorphs, and there's also a species called the Predator. Now the Predator is kind of like a nickname for them, they actually have a proper species name, but that's not too important. And the Predators have like a routine thing, like a hunting season, and they've got to go hunt the aliens, and also in some of the Predator films just hunt humans. They're like the perfect hunters, and they can go invisible and have lasers and stuff. That's basically the whole concept in a short synopsis. And this movie has gone above and beyond to copy the concept, copy the name, literally copy everything. Here we have Alien vs Hunter. Absolute joke just looking at it so far, and it says Battles on Earth, whatever that means. But as you can see here, clearly this looks like some sort of alien, and then this looks like a predator. But the thing is this kind of looks like an alien as well. So it's like an alien crossed with a predator there, and this kind of looks like the predator without his mask on, and then this is like some weird robot. They've kind of changed the species up a little bit, so they're not copying too much, but apparently Alien vs Hunter has a budget of $500,000. Actually, Alien vs Hunter had more money behind it than a lot of other successful films. Where that money went on screen, however, is a complete mystery, as this ripoff of Alien vs Predator has not one redeeming quality throughout its entire running time. The only good thing about this film is in the tagline on the movie poster, which simply reads Battle Zone Earth. I'm not sure why that's even good, that doesn't really give us any information, and it says it's something so perfectly vague that it could be mistaken for the $1 million work of a real film studio marketing team. So the marketing's not bad, the poster actually looks pretty cool, the movie concept looks kind of awesome to be honest, and if I had no clue what Alien vs Predator was, maybe I'd actually watch this film. To be honest, I would probably watch this film anyway. There's another Alien vs Predator ripoff on Netflix, which I can't remember the name of, or I'd mention it. Basically just another Shameless title, just like the rest, entire ripoff, and I'm actually interested when this film got released. As always, we're going to copy pasta this, and we're going to copy pasta it. And it says here that the budget was 500k, they got that right, and it was 2007, the 18th of December. So now what we want to do is we want to type in Alien vs Predator, and the original AVP film came out in 2004, and this is actually an amazing film. I have it on DVD, so I really recommend watching the original AVP. And we've gone from 500k to 70 million. I didn't know the budget for this film was that high. That was 2004. This film was released 3 years later. At least it's not like the Trance Morphers one where they literally just whipped it up in, I don't know, a few months and then just released it before the official film. The next one's also funny, but the thing is about the next one is I've not actually seen the Da Vinci Code, but I do know that it's a huge film with Tom Hanks in and it's actually quite popular, and I do remember when it came out. But we have a film which is just ripping off the entire concept. As you've guessed, instead of calling it the Da Vinci Code, they've called it the Da Vinci Treasure. Yeah. Not really much to say about that, but apparently the smart thing about the Da Vinci Treasure isn't the plot or the characters or anything even related to the film. Well, from looking at the poster for a start, it looks like crap. No offense who made it, please don't sue me, but that's just my personal opinion. Kind of looks like crap, and yeah, I wasn't really expecting much from the poster alone anyway, but it says the title was able to use the word Da Vinci without any copyright problems, and thus the film didn't need to be called something like the Da Vinci Treasure, meaning they didn't really have to spell it wrong. Regardless, this ripoff of the Da Vinci Code feels like a duplicate of the Mona Lisa, if that duplicate was essentially just a spray painted canvas that said Mona Lisa or whatever. Yeah, so what I'm getting from this is the film clearly must suck. They've ripped off the name and they got away with it without getting copyrighted, and One thing I see on most of the movie posters is they do rip them off, but luckily on this one they haven't actually ripped the movie poster off, so not really too shameful there. I wouldn't really give it as high as a shame factor as the other films we've looked at, but it's kind of up there, guys, so far. Yep, you've guessed it, we're back again with another Trance Morphers film. Apparently they've come back for another one. They weren't really happy with the first one. At this point, I guess they've just got so obnoxious and they've got so happy that they got away with copying it the first time without getting sued, that they felt like they had to come again and just copy it again. I mean, for a start, Trance Morphers and Transformers was so alike, but now we have Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, and then Trance Morphers have copied it, and get this, they've called it Trance Morphers Fall of Man. So they still have the same word fall in, and you can tell they're kind of copying the concept. I'm actually interested though to see what the story is in this, because I really want to know how they've actually copied the material. So it says here, you didn't think they could do it, but they did. They made a sequel to Trance Morphers and it's called Trance Morphers Fall of Man. Seemingly realising the mistakes of the previous film, Fall of Man went back a few hundred years and told the story of how the world was destroyed by giant robots in the first place. As it turned out, there was really no reason. The film's explanation was basically Transmorphers be transmorphing. Nothing inherently interesting really here, and it says the jury is still out on which film is less aggressively bad, Transmorphers Fall of Man or Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. So people still think both films are bad. I mean, the Transformers film got a lot of slack for it, but I personally enjoyed all the Transformers films. In Fall of Man, thanks to having no budget, most of the transforming or transmorphing is cut away from or just very roughly sketched out like a cartoon, but this is the price you pay for watching bad movies. So not really much more to say on that. It's just kind of like a repeated culprit. I mean, they've got away with it once, so they felt like, oh, let's get away with it again. But what I don't understand as a filmmaker is, why do people just copy people's ideas so obnoxiously and so obviously? Like, surely there's some sort of unique idea you can think of yourself. And even if this was unique, because, I mean, you could have robots like this doing similar things, why have you called it something so similar and so blatant? I don't really understand. But anyway, moving on. The next one is basically a rip-off of the film called Up. And this is a Disney Pixar film about some old guy and then some chubby kid, and they just go up in a balloon and they have a few friends and they explore things. Haven't really seen it, but I do kind of want to see it because it looks like a good film. But apparently they've actually copied the entire film, and it says this one's called What's Up, Balloon to the Rescue. So it still has the word up in it, and it still has some old ass dude, and the old ass dude has glasses, and then some ginger kid. I don't know why. I guess this other ginger kid's supposed to mirror this chubby kid, and then some other old man and some woman. I don't know who the characters are, but it says, if you thought mockbusters could only rip off action films, think again. What I'm understanding here is mockbusters, who did the Transmorphers, I believe, they've literally just started copying every other film. I mean, they've come back to copy the Up film. And it says this time Pixar was the target with the amazingly awful What's Up, Balloon to the Rescue. Because What's Up wouldn't have been an obvious rip-off enough of Pixar's Up, so they had to throw the word balloon in there just to make sure everyone knew that was Up. Featuring what is absolutely the worst, most nightmare-inducing animation you'll ever see, is actually fascinating like What's Up even exists, considering the amount of time and effort that it must have taken to make a movie this bad. Not only is the film insultingly bland and near impossible to watch, but it's also insanely racist, in a way that only a movie that looks like a 90s screensaver could be. If it isn't yet clear, everything about this film is fascinating, and if you want to make cringe your way through a night with some friends, you literally couldn't make a worse choice than What's Up. So this has summed everything up for us. I know it's a rip-off. What I want to do next is I want to Google mockbusters, because they literally have been copying so many films. Mockbuster is a movie genre. A mockbuster is a movie created with the intention of exploiting the publicity of another major motion picture with a similar title and or subject. Mockbusters are often made with a low budget and quick production to maximize profit. So, mockbusters seems to be an actual genre of movie, whereas the production team that made the Transmorphers films is called The Asylum. Right, so The Asylum is a mockbusters company. Okay, I understand that now. Apparently, it's a genre to steal movies and steal ideas. I had no clue about that. The next one is Metal Man, which, as you can tell, is a rip-off of Iron Man. Part man, part machine, all hero. This is the tagline for 2008's Metal Man. As you can tell, obviously, Iron Man was also a 2008 release, and it says a film that hopefully no one confused with Iron Man because there would be a tragedy. not to be confused with DC's Metal Men film that was once in production with Barry Sonnenfeld set to direct. Metal Man is sometimes titled Iron Hero, but no matter which way you cut it, the synopsis on the back of the DVD case discusses a character that doesn't even appear in the film, so how's that for getting off to a good start? Okay, so apparently the huge thing about the film is this guy called Metal Man, and I'm not sure if they're talking about that same character or if they're talking about someone else, but apparently there's a character which is heavily discussed and featured but doesn't even actually show up in the film. So really great start off there, guys. We have a film which doesn't have the character which they promote to be in the film, and the whole film isn't about what the film is supposed to be about. And as you can see, the suit is even ripped off from Iron Man. Obviously they probably had a bad costume maker, so they couldn't exactly replicate the entire suit. To be honest, the costume looks kind of cool, but it kind of looks sucky in comparison to Iron Man, I'm not going to lie. But the person who made the costume, I guess, knows what they're doing to a certain extent. That is all of the movie rip-offs today. We've showed a few. I mean, we've showed 1, 2, 3, 4. We've showed about 5 or 6 movie rip-offs. If you want to see some more, then definitely subscribe to the channel and like the video. I'm thinking about coming back for another one to show off animated movie rip-offs, especially the Disney ones, because there's a lot of movies which are ripped off from Disney and Pixar films. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.